Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. The Sensex and the Nifty end in the green after a range-bound session. The October F&O series draws to a close with 6% gains for both indices as bulls regain lost ground. Credit Suisse shares nosedive after the embattled Swiss lender posts a $4 billion loss in the third quarter, also announces an overhaul, promises to cut its cost base by 15%. Facebook's parent company Meta loses $67 billion in market cap after missing estimates in the third quarter. Mark Zuckerberg defends the metaverse project, which led to a 20% rise in costs. Elon Musk enters the Twitter headquarters carrying a sink as the $44 billion acquisition nears closure. Musk needs to seal the deal by tomorrow to avoid facing a trial. The government could announce PLI schemes for 8 more sectors. Sources say the centre is considering allocating up to 40,000 crore rupees. A new scheme to boost the manufacturing of raw materials for drugs and vaccines is on the table. That's an exclusive. 13 months since the cabinet approval, the government is yet to decide on converting Vodafone Idea's dues to equity. All approvals are in place, and sources say a final decision from the Department of Telecommunications is awaited. India's women cricketers will be paid the same match fee as their male counterparts as the BCCI. Women will now get 15 lakh rupees for every test match compared to 4 lakh rupees earlier, but no changes to the annual retainers, where men get paid significantly more than women. Well, let's start with the day's market action. The Wall Street recording its biggest gain in the last 3 series while closing a volatile trading day with minor gains. So we saw the Sensex gain over 200 points today. The Nifty was higher by 80 points. Bank and mid-cap indexes also ended the day in the green. The October F&O series is drawn to a close. The Sensex and the Nifty have gained 6% each as bulls regain some lost ground. The Nifty is now 2% away from record highs. But the big global story, embattled Swiss lender Credit Suisse has reported a worse-than-expected quarterly loss of $4 billion. Consolidated revenue came in at $3.8 billion. That's a decline of 30% compared to the same period last year. Under pressure from investors, the lender unveiled a major overhaul of its business, including cost cuts, reducing risk and revival of investment bank First Boston. The bank's new CEO hopes the plan is the start of a transformation into Credit Suisse. Juliana Teitelbaum has the details.
Credit Suisse has unveiled a radical strategic overhaul, as well as a 4 billion Swiss franc capital increase following sharp losses in the third quarter. The Swiss lender is launching a rights issue at a discount of, get this, approximately 32% and is bringing in a new shareholder, Saudi National Bank, which has committed up to 1.5 billion Swiss francs. This after CS posted a net loss of just over 4 billion Swiss francs in Q3. The troubled lender will break its investment bank up into 4 parts with the creation of CS First Boston, focusing on advisory and capital markets. The firm will sell a majority stake in its securitized products group business to Apollo Management and PIMCO.
Well, troubled Credit Suisse there, but more global earnings. Tech giant Meta reported lower than expected numbers this quarter, missing street estimates on almost all fronts. So the company's revenue came in at just under $28 billion. That's slightly below street expectations and down 4% year on year. This is the second straight time that Meta reported a dip in its revenues, and the company's forecast for the next quarter shows another drop. This did not sit well with Wall Street. The company's shares plunged nearly 20% in trade yesterday, wiping out almost $67 billion of the company's market cap. Samsung Electronics reported a 31% decline in profit in Q3 on the back of a big slump in demand for smartphones and semiconductors. The company's chip business, which is responsible for a majority of its revenue, has seen a 50% drop in profit. Samsung, however, said that they would not reduce chip production. The company says they expect demand to recover in late 2023. Elon Musk treated Twitter users with visuals of himself entering the Twitter headquarters in San Francisco holding a sink. He also changed his bio profile to Chief Twit, indicating he is the new boss. This happened a day ahead of a court-ordered deadline to close his $44 billion deal for the microblogging site by the 28th of October. Remember, Musk recently asked his co-investors to prepare for financing the takeover. Twitter's shares will be suspended from trade on Friday. Well, back home, it has been 13 months since the cabinet approval came in for the conversion of Vodafone's debt into equity by the government. But So far, the wait continues. Ashmit joins us now with more. Ashmit, all necessary approvals, whether it is SEBI or the Finance Ministry, the approvals are in. What is the holdup?
Well, that's a question that we have been, in fact, asking the government officials for a fair bit now. But as you pointed out, it's been 13 months since the cabinet granted the nod, but the clock is still not moved forward here. Keep in mind that in September of 2021 is when the cabinet, amongst a whole host of telecom relief measures, had also allowed for these telecom government dues to be converted into government equity. Since then, in January, Vodafone had applied, but the wait continues. What's important at this stage to understand is that all necessary approvals have been secured. So whether it's SEBI, looking in compliance with the takeover regulations, SEBI has granted its nod. The Finance Ministry has given its approval. So the file, as we understand, the application as we understand, is currently resting before the DOT pending consideration. DOT is finalizing a call. Having said that, there are a few aspects to keep in mind. Number one, outstanding dues of Vodafone are piling up. Whether that's tower companies, whether that's vendors, that is a big sore point as far as Vodafone Idea is concerned. Also keep in mind that Vodafone Idea had sought to issue the shares at a par price of 10 rupees per share. However, it's been trading below that price since the month of April. So that has also been another point of concern. And of course, let's not forget, in terms of investors and in terms of money being brought in by the promoters, that's another core concern that perhaps has been doing the rounds. But so far, no clarity coming in from the government on what a roadmap will look like for converting these dues. It's been 13 months since then. No clarity on the way forward.
Yes, that question mark continues. Ashmit, many thanks for joining us. We will head into a short break, but up next, it's a big step forward for women's cricket in India. The BCCI says women cricketers will get the same match fee as their male counterparts for international matches. Harmanpreet Kaur, India cricket team captain, and the former captain of India, Diana Idulji, join us after the break. In a significant decision taken today, Indian women cricketers will now be paid the same match fee as their male counterparts for international matches across all formats. Today, the BCCI General Secretary Jay Shah announced that they are implementing their pay equity policy, calling it their commitment to women cricketers. Now, here's what you need to understand. A woman cricketer will get a match fee of 12 lakh rupees for a test match, 6 lakh rupees for a one-day international, and 3 lakh rupees for an international T20 match. Now, that is a significant increase compared to what they made earlier. However, a match fee is only a very small component of a cricketer's take-home per year. Let's take a look at the annual contracts, and we can see the vast pay inequity. A male cricketer in grade A in India, the likes of Virat, Shikhar Dhawan, Ashwin, Pujara, they have a contract worth 5 crore a year. On the contrary, a woman cricketer in the same category gets paid 50 lakh. That's about 10% of what a male cricketer in grade A gets paid. That's not all. There is an A-plus category for male cricketers, which includes the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah. They have a 7 crore per year contract. There is no such category for women cricketers. Well, while this is an important, significant step for the cause of pay parity, for the cause of women's cricket, a lot more needs to be done to break the cycle of underinvestment and create a virtuous cycle of investment to promote the sport. Joining us now are women who know a thing or two about what it takes to be on the pitch. Harmanpreet Kaur, the Indian cricket team captain, and Diana Idulji, the former India captain. Thanks very much for joining us here. Harmanpreet, let me start by asking you, a significant decision today, at least as far as match fee is concerned, the BCCI now announcing pay parity. What was your reaction when you saw that tweet?
Well, I was very happy. I totally welcome this news because, this is very important for all of us because, we have been talking about, women equality and a match, match fees and everything when we'll get, equal amount of the way, men's are getting. And today, that news has come and we all are very happy, very excited to know that. And I'm sure in future also, lot of things are coming on our way, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes, we'll talk about the future in just a second, Harmanpreet, but I want to understand from you, what has changed today is the match fee, where there has been an increase as far as the women cricket team is concerned. There has been no change on the contract side, which is, of course, the largest component. Is there hope now in your mind that that should or could be the next step?
I'm someone who like to, who has a lot of patience, and I'm sure, if BCCI is taking care of women's cricket, they will definitely look after this thing in the future. And right now, we all are very happy that we have got equal match fees, which was, something we always wanted to do. And I think it is a great initiative taken by the BCCI, and especially thank to Jai sir and all the BCCI committee. They have taken this initiative, and I'm really hopeful in the future also. Things keep moving, and keep improving on our way.
Yes, the hope is that things will see a further improvement. But Harmanpreet, a lot of reactions pouring in expectedly on social media in response, in reaction to the tweet that's coming from the BCCI. And I want you to react to that. And I'm just reading out very few of the tweets that have come in, the reactions that capture, I would say, a broad sentiment. Many people saying women are getting paid less, not because of their gender, but because they were generating less revenue. This is the same reason why hockey and football players are paid less than cricket. It is simple economics. You will be paid according to the revenue you generate. Also saying without men's cricket, women's cricket would struggle to even get airfare. Now, I know that this is probably not anything new that you as a player are dealing with. You've probably heard such comments several times in the course of the career that you've had. How do you react and respond to these comments?
Well, some things are really hard. We have to accept those things, and I'm someone who always like to look at the brighter side. And I have seen in last 5-6 years as a team we have grown up. What we were getting 5 years back, and what we are getting now, it's major different. And I'm sure in the future also, now today this decision is taken. In the future also we will get a lot of improvement when we talk about the commercials. And I'm sure there are a lot of scope, there are a lot of things which can be improved, and I'm sure in future those things will take in care.
Well, joining me now is also former India captain Diana Idilji. Diana, many thanks for joining us. We're just talking to Harmanpreet Kaur, the current captain of the Indian cricket team. And this is a big day for Indian cricket. It's a big day for gender parity. And while we can argue about the fact that this is only match fee and the contract fee difference continues to be significant, nevertheless, it is an important step being taken forward. Diana, I want to get your reaction to the decision that's been taken today, the impact and the implications that this is going to have.
Yeah, thanks for having me on your show. I'd just like to say that this is a very, very big step, one of the few steps to be taken, and it is a great Diwali gift for the women cricketers who have been performing well in the last 5-6 years. I wouldn't say that this is the first step, because when I was a member of the COA in 2017 to 2019, it started with that, the movement started with that when we brought the one-time benefit and pension for women cricketers. Pension was there for players who were playing more than 10 test matches. But I saw to it that 1 to 10 also got the pension, and the one-time benefit was for all. Then slowly we started giving the same type of travel facilities to the women cricketers. They started traveling business class. They got the 5-star hotels. They got the same daily allowances. So these are small, small steps being taken. It's a construction of a building. And today a major block has been put that the match fee has been increased. And the last icing, I would say, on the cake would be the contract system. But we should wait. And I agree that we need to market the women game a little more better. And with the women IPL tender, broadcasting tender to be coming out, the franchisees coming forward to bid for teams, all that is moving in the right direction. BCCI is taking small steps, but surely they are taking the positive steps to improve and promote the game of women's cricket.
Diana, you're right in pointing out that this is one of the many steps that we've seen being taken in the last few years to try and move the cause of women's cricket forward. But, on this issue of economics, because as I pointed out to Harmanpreet as well, the bulk of the response that's coming in at this point in time, reactions from the general public about why is this being done? The women's cricket team doesn't earn the kind of revenues that the men do. So why are we talking about parity, and why is there a need for parity here? Diana, how do you respond to this? Because again, as I asked Harmanpreet, I mean, this is not a new reaction that you've encountered. You've probably heard this argument for years now. But how do you respond to this? How do you explain to the layperson that this is important and that we need to create a virtuous cycle of investment, which will then ensure that the women's cricket team does for revenues what the men's cricket team does today?
I don't fully blame them because if you really look deep into it, it is absolutely right. It is so far the revenue that the BCCI has earned is always from the men's cricket, from the broadcasting rights for the IPL, all that. But slowly and steadily, the women 2017 onwards, the public has been responding well. We had a full house in Lord's final. We had over 80,000 people watching the MCG final of the T20 World Cup in 2020. So as and when people are looking forward to the women game now, they are watching all over the world. People have become household names. They know. Then they are watching cricket and, taking part, being a part of the women's cricket game, which is very important. And the women IPL coming forward next year is the right step. We have a World Cup coming up. And if the girls can crack that trophy for BCCI, I think everybody will then say, yes, it is the right step BCCI has taken.
So, Harmanpreet, that's the next goal for you. That's the next target.
Yes, definitely. Whenever we talk to Diana ma'am, she's always talk about winning the World Cup, and I'm also looking forward to that. And I think in the last 3-4 months, we have done really well, and I'm sure upcoming 3-4 months are also very important, and we will try to keep putting the same amount of hard work, and we will definitely I'm sure we are very close to our target, and the day is not far when we will get that trophy also, and all the things which we are talking today we will cover, and then nobody will complain.
Well, no complaints, Harmanpreet. I mean, you guys have had a fabulous run the last few years, and of course, everyone now is going to be waiting for the big moment, the World Cup, as Diana and you just spoke about. But Harmanpreet, I want to understand from you, as we heard there from Diana, there have been several positive changes, small steps along the last few years that have been taken to improve the life on the pitch as far as women cricketers are concerned. As a player who is currently taking the India team forward, what more would you like to see? I mean, one of the concerns really is the number of matches that the women's cricket team plays, for instance. What more would you like to now see being done in terms of further positive action?
If I see, we have been always talking about the women's IPL, and now BCCI has also taken that initiative, and that is something which were lacking for all of us, because when I went to WBBL and Kia Lake and then 100, I have got a lot of experience. And then my game totally changed, and ideas and everything was wider, and I think that was something which our domestic players were missing. And now when overseas players come here, and we'll get chance to play with them, so definitely that barrier will also we will par, and I'm sure this is something which we were missing, and domestic players, when they get the experience, we will improve our cricket, and definitely whenever they come and join the team, we will see the major changes, major they will get the experience from the overseas players. And I think these are the things which as a cricketer I was missing, and which now BCCI has also taken the initiative, and I'm sure these things when happen, we will see a lot of improvement in our cricket. And then whenever we talk about winning the big tournaments and doing well on the good platform, so when we get the experience, we will definitely improve as a cricketer, and we will definitely get the good results.
Yeah, Diana, that's what I want to address with you. You talked about this being a significant building block as we talk about constructing this building. The IPL is going to be one of the big moments as far as taking this journey forward is concerned. What else do you believe needs to be done really at the grassroots level to ensure that we see more participation of women from across the country coming into the cricketing fold?
Yes, domestic cricket has to play a very big role to improve the talent pool of the women cricketers. BCCI has come up with the initiative of starting an under 15 tournament in the domestic circle. So that is another big step taken, because that's where you have to knock on to get players early into the game. And now with these match fees of the international cricketers going up, I'm sure the domestic fees also will go up, which will make parents think, twice whether to send their kid to play cricket or not. Now they can think of making women's cricket a career, and with IPL round the corner, I think this is the ideal time to be a women cricketer. I wish I could get back into training and come back into the team.
Well, that would have been wonderful to see you back in action, Diana. But, as someone who's watched the game evolve, and you've sort of been part of it actively, and also not as a bystander, but trying to promote changes as an active participant, not on the field, but off the field. What have been the hardest parts of this journey, Diana, trying to get these changes done? What's been the biggest challenge?
The acceptance that women can play cricket and to take the game seriously. And that happened after the team entered the final of the 2017 World Cup at Lord's. That was a very red letter day for us. And, people started waking up that women's cricket is there. It was, the highest viewership at that time, even more than some people say even more than the IPL, which I don't believe, but maybe it could have been. But that was one of the biggest plus points where women's cricket took a turn for the better.
Diana, Harmanpreet, many thanks for joining us here on CNBC TV18 on what has been an important day, not just for the cause of women's cricket in this country, but for the cause of women in general. We will take a break. There's a lot more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a minute.